Morning, rise and shine. Good morning, good morning. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Another day in news reporting. Let me clean my camera. It seems kind of fuzzy. Come on in, hit the like button. It don't cost you a thing. Trying to, trying to get myself together. Come on in. This might be as good as it gets. Come on in. Good morning, rise and shine. So we got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. Y'all know when I got questions, I go live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, honor students. Good morning. I'll give y'all some time to come on in. Make sure my sound check, because y'all know I am not above talking for a good 5+ minutes to my damn self. So you want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. There's a lot going on. It is a lot going on. Y'all just don't know the behind the scenes preparation your good sis do to come on these lives to talk my talk. It be so much. It's the layers. Come on in. Can y'all hear me? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Can you hear me? Is my sound check, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Let me know. Good morning, good morning. I hope you all are doing well. What's today? Thursday. Good morning. How are you? Please hit the like button for me as you come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Good morning. We got some things to talk about. As you see from my title, we have some things to talk about. Let's see. I think we okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. I'll give you all a minute to come on in. Let me know if you can hear me in the comments, please. Just let me know. Somebody, phone in a friend. Can you hear me? I have some things to say and want to make sure that my message is heard. I know the message, but it does me no good if I'm talking to myself. Come on in. Let me know in the comments. Somebody drop a comment. Let me know if you can hear me, if my sound is okay. Somebody give me confirmation that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Just need some type of confirmation. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear your good sis? Let me know. Drop a comment for me, please. Like the video. Let me know if you can hear me. I need y'all to be able to hear this message this morning. Another episode of Chronicles. Hello. Hello, welcome. Hello, welcome. Can you hear me? So, yeah, it was I'm gonna assume no one has said if you can hear me or not, but we're gonna go on. We're gonna move on with life as though you can hear me. So, yesterday I saw President Donald J. Trump in the office, surrounded by many, many women, children, females. I'm like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And he was like, listen, it's a new day. We not here for our little girls and women's getting knocked out, catching concussions while playing sports with males, with boys, with men. We not doing that. We not on this. We not doing it. He said that the fact that he even had to be up there saying that it wasn't cool was a whole entire problem. Y'all know it's like some things just seem so basic to where You like, why are we even talking about this? Like, why we even got to have a whole think piece about this issue? I be telling y'all, it don't be that deep. It don't be that deep. How deep do you have to go to be like, okay, little boys, you play over here, little girls, you play over here, men, you play over here, women, you play over here. Why? Men, boys, because you strong as a mother effer. That's why. That is why. Whether you choose to put a dress and heels on, shorts or pants on, if you have that male testosterone running through you, running through your blood, biologically, you are going to be stronger than the female that does not have testosterone in that amount. Because look, both females and men, like we both have both. Like when you have the estrogen and the testosterone, we have them both. It's just the quantity. The biological male is just going to have more testosterone, and the biological female is going to have more estrogen. So we have both. So it's just kind of like the math on it. So I'm like, okay, well, given that that is the case, then I feel like that should be taken into an account when sporting events and there's activities taking place with, our children, our youth, even adults. Because I've seen like in the Olympics, you'll have I've seen in some of the games where you'll have trans, playing in the sports. So my thing is, I'm all for trans, playing whatever sports, the sports they want to play, sure. But I feel like just like we have a Special Olympics, we should have an Olympics for those who are part of the trans community. There should be separate games for them because of, as I said, me factoring in women having more estrogen and men having more testosterone. So, story time. So yesterday, while he was there signing the bill, and good morning, you all. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. So yesterday, while he was signing the bill, he highlighted the story of a young girl in November of 2023. She was in high school at the time, playing a soccer game as usual, just another day in the life of a teenage girl. She was playing a soccer game. Welcome. Good morning. Please like the video, like, share, and subscribe. So, this woman, can't remember her name, she was playing a soccer game, and she said someone from the other side on the team spiked the ball and it hit her. That she said, President Trump was telling the story, but I was able to Google the story and find and watch the video on like X. So it's out there. If you type in young high schooler spiked by ball in the head at a game by another trans student. So that child, type that in, it's gonna get you together. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. So on the video, you can see, the girl, her team, they hit the ball over the net. Y'all know how volleyball go. And then the trans student uh, comes in, they hit the ball and they spike it. And when they spiked it, the way that ball bounced off of that young girl head, she straight hit the floor. She hit the ground. And as a result of that, she got a concussion, and which resulted in her now like dealing with issues with memory. I think she was paralyzed for a certain point on a certain side of her body. What else they said? She said she couldn't do schoolwork like by herself anymore. She'd have to get assistance in class when it was time to take tests. Just she suffered from depression. Like child, she not only got now as a result of this limitations dealing with her physical, but she also has limitations dealing with her brain functions. So she was messed up royally. And like I said, if you look up the video, I need somebody to explain to me why this is okay and why this cannot be factored in when we talk about allowing biological males to play in the same sports as a biological female. How, listen, what is the science? How do we justify the strength? Now, trans have on certain type of medications, things like that. Will, I don't know if it's supposed to kind of pull back the strength. I don't know. But in all, whatever is pulling back is still leaving them stronger than the average typical female person. It is, no matter what type of medications that's been taken. So with that being said, President, like, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We not allowing biological males to play into these sports and come and dominate, because many of them were not dominating in the male sport. Let's talk about it. Many of the trans who are now choosing, because they have the choice to play in the women's sport, they really were dominating like that in the male sports. So it's like, okay, well, I ain't really dominating like that over there, but let me try something over here. Let me try something over here and see, how I can make it do what it do. Child, I done seen them clean up in track and field. That was the first time I seen it, where there was like two trans, and they would clean up. Child, one was consistently coming in first, and one was consistently like first and second. They was cleaning up one and two. Women, you coming behind them. And I heard some of the girls talk about, and they would say when they would go to these track meets, they already knew that they weren't biting for coming in maybe first or second place, because remember, you got them playing. So really the best that they can come in is behind them. So can you imagine going into a game knowing that first place, even second place, that's off the table? That shit ain't happening. Why? Because you got John and David in the race too. Now they didn't change their name and they didn't put through some braids in their hair, but they still John and David. They didn't came in and they didn't took first and second. So now your next bet is like, well, damn, maybe I can get third. Maybe I can get third. Third is the new first, y'all. Third is the new first. Third is the new first. So when I was hearing that, I'm like, damn, that got to be messed up. Because imagine training your entire life for a sport and try to, dominate, be the best at it. Like what you do, the mindset of when you're going into a sport, you're playing to win. So imagine you're playing to win, you're preparing, you're training, and then you go into this sport, and then you see some people in there that's not biologically women, and now you like, damn, like how am I finna compete against that? Like it ain't no way I'm finna take first or even second. So this little record that I had with my little wins, that didn't came to an end. That didn't came to an end because now I'm playing against now males as well. So it's no longer me thinking on any given Sunday that I'm going to come out on top in this event, which can contribute to my resume as I put myself out there to try to get these scholarships or whatever. It's jacked up on so many levels. It's messed up on so many levels. And like I said, it's common sense. It's so common that a bill had to get passed to say, okay, since y'all acting like it ain't damn common sense. All right, then let me put this issue in writing. Let me go ahead and put this issue in writing because y'all acting like y'all don't know. Y'all acting like y'all know. Y'all acting like y'all slow, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm finna put it in writing. So if you ever need to recall what the rules, what the process is, then you're going to have something in black and white that you can refer back to. We gonna just do that. We just gonna put this shit in writing, so it's just gonna be here. So if you ever need to, go through the pages, you can refer back to this and be like, oh, okay, no, we ain't allowed to do that. So there's that. I saw today, so Los Angeles, there's the UCLA, like the children's hospital. They put out a memo or something saying that they were halting any like scheduled surgeries and things for the like medical treatment with, transitioning of they had, I think, they had a name for it. I'd never even heard of it before. But It's the medical treatment for the youth, the children, the babies who were like in the process with trying to go through with hormonal changes, all of that y'all may or may not know that go into changing your sex. UCLA said, listen, according to this bill which just got signed, we can't do it. We can't do it. Anybody who's already in the process, we will continue to see out the process, provide the medical attention. But those who on the books who scheduled to come on next Thursday at 2 o'clock, Monday at 3, and Wednesday at 9, your appointment has been canceled until further notice. Because according to this law, this bill, they're not able to do it. They're not allowed to do it. So people over there, they spazzing out. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. They throwing out amendment, all kind of rights and stuff. The local politician there for California, I don't know what, I'd never seen this man before, so I'm not even knowing what position he holds. But he was basically saying this cannot be done. Um, I don't know. He said, listen, it can't be done. It can't. The president just did it. He done already signed it. It's in black and white. He even gave the little kids there the pen. He gave them the pen that he signed it with. You get a pen. You get a pen. You get a pen. Y'all know how he sit up there at the table when he have all these pens. The kids were there. They were so excited. They were surrounding the president. He was handing out them the pens. And so, like I said, he like, shit, if you act like, if you don't know the rules, that's fine. I'm going to put it in black and white someplace where you can go refer to it, at least for the duration that I'm in this seat in the White House. I don't know what y'all going to do when I'm gone, but while I'm in this seat, this is how we going to do things here. So, he signed it. So, LA, they pissed off. They real mad. They in their feelings over there. But also in the midst of this, while I'm seeing UCLA, and people being mad about this, I'm hearing that there are a good number of pending litigations against UCLA and just other medical facilities for people who are trans, who ones, I guess, identified as trans, saying, UCLA, why you do that? Why you do that surgery? You knew that I didn't know good and damn well what the hell I was doing. I was going through something. My daddy wasn't there. Mama was always working. This person was doing this to me. This person doing that to me. But you gonna go and do this surgery anyway? I'm better now. I'm healed. And now I realize that I'm a boy and I'm not a girl. But UCLA, y'all done done all these procedures and altered things about my body that are not reversible. And now I gotta live with it. UCLA, you need to run me my coin. Y'all see what I'm saying? So on the front end, you got UCLA or whoever like, no, these people, yeah, we need to be able to do these surgeries. If this 12-year-old saying, hey, I want to be a girl, or the 12-year, and the mama's with it, we should be able to do it. But then fast forward, that 12-year-old is now 22, and they like, well, I was damn 12. I didn't know what I was wanting. I was going through something. I don't want that no more. Huh? I don't want that no more. UCLA is your fault that I'm jacked up because I was 12. Why did you go off of what I was saying when I was 12? So then what? My mama signed off whatever. I was 12. I was emotional. I was going through things psychologically. Why did you do that, UCLA? There was an attorney. He said he got 13 cases with that argument where these trans they're now adults. They're not kids anymore, but they had the process and things started when they were children. So now that they're adults and they got a different mindset, they like, what? It's almost like you wake up out of a coma and then you being told what your life is, and you be like, who made that decision? Well, sir, well, ma'am, before you had your accident or whatever, that was the decision you made. What? I don't remember that. Who signed off on that? This is the energy that these people are coming with. They're like, wait a minute. I said what at 12? I don't want to go to school at 12. I didn't even know what I was wanting to wear at school, wear to school that day at 12. Like, what do you mean you allowed for me to tell you I wanted to be a girl at 12 and you said, okay, what? And this is what's happening. Y'all, I'm not making this up. You can look into it. Anything that I talk about on it, look into it. This is what's happening. So what happens there when it comes to accountability? When now, so are we gonna say that, okay, well, if the 12-year-old, 11-year-old, 8-year-old, I've seen cases where it's little bitty kids, six, say, I'm this, I want to identify as this. Are we gonna say, okay, we gonna go with that, and then when they become adults, we just gonna stick with, well, I mean, that's what the decision you made when you were six. My daughter's made the decision to want to be a doctor since she was six. She's 15. She's still holding true to that. So if they like, well, hell, at six, you were saying you wanted to be a little girl. At 12, you were saying you wanted to be a little girl. So we like, okay, we gonna give you, listen, who's accountable at this point? Is it the young adult now? Because it's like, well, as a child, I mean, you said, or is it the adult at the time that the person was a child who went with that decision that the child was making? These are the questions I have, and I know no matter who may or may not like what I got to say, these are the questions that many people have. And clearly I'm not alone with these questions or confusion, because law had to be signed centered around it, as crazy as it sounds. Law had to be signed. So, this is a serious matter when, okay, you, people can't be trusted to just move responsibly and make responsible decisions on their own. So it's like, we got to help you out. And again, as I talk about law and order, that's what this country is built on, law and order. And when these bills and things are put into place, that is what the law and order is. It's a place, something that's always able to be referred back to. So people will always be able to refer back to that. It's in black and white until it's changed. Somebody comes along and say, hey, I don't like that. We're going to remove that, whatever. Each president, like, it's their prerogative. It's up to them if they want to continue to carry out law and order that's in place, or if they want to kind of tweak it or make some changes. So President Trump is like, okay, yeah, this one right here don't make sense. And I feel like people aren't going to want to act like what he did makes sense until it hits home and it impacts them. It impacts their child, where their child is in a situation and they're playing against, so their daughter is in a situation playing against a biological boy, and the biological boy, because he now is saying, hey, I identify as a girl, there's something that happens to their child. So now it's like, oh, the light bulb come on, the common sense kick in. It's like, oh, that's what they were talking about. No, that isn't right, because it hit close to home. And a lot of times that be the case where things don't really resonate with people on a certain level until it implies them. It starts to make them feel comfortable. So I try to kind of look at things from a perspective of, even though it's not impacting me, how many other people out there could it be impacting for it to be an issue to where people are having conversations about it, for it to be a thing to where a bill has to be written and, signed to set rules and parameters about, like, this is a thing, y'all. Like, I don't come on here and just make ish up. Like, I come out here and I talk about what's a thing out here in these streets. And this is a thing. This is a thing. So regardless of how people may feel about these surgeries being canceled, they canceled. They probably good for being canceled for at least probably a good 4 years, for however long, he's in office. I would yeah, I would like to see anything so far that he's done be undone during his term. Like, I want to see it. I want to see it. Good morning, virtuous woman. Good morning, everyone. I want to see it. But I feel like what he did was necessary, because it's unfortunate that the young girl, like, her body, her life is forever changed because of that day when it was allowed for a male to play in the sport with her who had more strength than her. by leaps and bounds because a biological male does, no matter how you slice it and dice it. And like I said, no matter how many prescriptions you take, those levels, they may go down, but it's still going to be more than like your average girl who was just, just growing you with her just average estrogen with no enhancements. So it's common sense. Like, really think about it. Facts over feelings. My thing is, trans should have access to play sports, whatever. I'm not about taking no rights from them. My thing is, there should be a separate sport, a separate category, a separate group, a separate league, just like they have for the special y'all. Let me bring it home for some of y'all in the back who understand. That's like looking for the paraplegic or the person with one leg. They say, my dream has been to be in the Olympics. And they say, and this person has been running and training, doing whatever all their lives with other people who have disabilities. And then it gets to the day where they say, okay, you now qualify for the Olympics. But let me tell you this, if you do, you gotta run against these people who have both of their biological legs. So you got one, and then you got prosthetic, whatever you call the other one. But I'm gonna need for you to run against Usain Bolt, like Michael Johnson. I'm gonna need for you to run against him. If you want to be in the Olympics, you running against him. I understand you said you got limitations and you can only do what it do with one good leg. I get that. But if you want to play in these games, you got to play over here with them because they're in the Olympics too, and it's just one sport. Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see how that don't make no damn sense? You see what I'm saying? You telling a one-legged person if they want to play in the Olympics, they got to run with the two-legged person. hmm I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how the hell to bring it home to folks, but that's that. You see how they have a separate Special Olympics? So you got your gold, silver, bronze, whatever levels you got in the regular Olympics, you got that ish popping off in the Special Olympics too. You see, ain't nothing being taken away from nobody. It's just that you got your own group. You like, bet, hell, I done ran against the other one-legged man, the other one-legged woman. I cleaned up. You feeling good about your life. You feeling good in your soul because you competed against people who were like you. So what I'm saying is, those who are trans, why can't they have that ability to compete against people like them? That's equal playing field. Y'all tell me what the hell I'm just lost, where I'm missing the mark, where I didn't, how when you connect the dots in the picture and you mess around and you miss one, so your picture ain't coming out right. Tell me which dot I missed to wear my picture off. Because to me, my picture look like it's giving what it's supposed to give. But people out here making it seem like, nah, you skipped the dot. You skipped the dot. Tell me what dot. What did I skip? Because I'm just saying, have a separate category. There would be nothing to argue if you have a trans category where trans women, trans men, the women who once was born men can play against each other. The men who were born women, everybody. Listen, you playing with your kind. You playing with your kind. What? We ain't got no problems there. So we got winners in the just biological male, biological female category. We got winners in our Special Olympics. We can have winners in our trans category. You see what I'm saying? Don't that make sense? Like, am I y'all, sometimes this stuff don't really be it don't seem that deep to me. That's why I'm like, what am I missing? Like, what's wrong with that what's wrong with that being an option? Where would there be an argument? Because we ain't been, y'all, we don't see people out on the picket line saying special people in the Special Olympics should have the right to be able to be a part of the regular Olympic games. I ain't never, y'all let me know, I ain't never seen no rally where people who are eligible or who participate in the Special Olympics, they're rallying because they were denied the ability to play in the regular Olympics. I ain't seen it. I have not seen that. I just see them just being really happy about their wins in the Special Olympics. That's what I've seen. So I feel like trans can be really happy with their wins and their sports. And right now, it's so many of them, so many people who are kind of identifying now in this category to where it's getting to a point to where I think numbers wise, it's getting there to be able to have enough people to compete, and participate in games and play against one another within that category. It's of course going to be a smaller category right now than the regular, male female one, but you got a good number of people nowadays, who are identifying as trans. But no, I really think psychologically, these men who now want to identify as females, they know they have the advantage because of their strength. But they're trying to get over by saying, well, I identify as a woman or a girl, so I can play. But really, low key, they know shit. I want to play over here because I can know I can win. Because a lot of them have tried playing in the groups that they were born in, but it didn't work out. They didn't have wins. They didn't have successes. So it's like, okay, well, let me play over here. It's almost like a bully. Like they say, a bully. They pick their battles. They know. Yeah, I know. This person can kick my behind, but these ones over here, they not as strong. So I want to come over here and throw my weight. I want to come over here and throw my weight with these ones over here because I know they don't have the ability to go upside my head like that, like the ones over here. So let me just come on, because usually that's what happens, bullies, things like that. Like they're strategic about who they're going after. They're going after who they deem to be weak, and that's not right. And I feel like from what I've seen, I feel like that's happened quite a bit, where biological males have chosen to go and play in the arena of the women because it's like, well, I know that I will dominate over there. And is it about knowing you'll, like, it doesn't make you feel away knowing that you're dominating because biologically you have an advantage with your strength? What gets me is how someone can sleep at night knowing that it wasn't fair with how you dominated. Like, how does it even hit the same when you dominated, but it wasn't even a fair playing ground? To me, it just seems like it wouldn't even feel like the same, like a good win, because it's just like, it's almost like a 15-year-old, let me just say a 25-year-old being like flexing over dominating a daggone 12-year-old in a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Or a a college basketball player dominating somebody who plays rec league basketball. Like what? Like, y'all remember the Jake Paul fight and Mike Tyson? Some people are like, okay, yeah, you won, but that man was 60 years old. It's just like, is the win still the same when you like way younger than this person? Like, you just fought a senior citizen. You just fought one, beat a senior citizen. Is Does the win still feel the same when you're, let's say, 30? I don't know how old the Paul, Jake is. Does the win still feel the same when you 30 and then you beat up the 60-year-old? Is it the same? Is it the same? Because I would think that a win would feel much better if you beat up someone who was within your age range. Like, oh, yeah, I'm 30. Yeah, I fought even a 25-year-old or a 35-year-old, like somebody like at least within like a 10-year age range. But somebody who old enough to be your daddy, how? I don't understand. To me, that's different. To me, it's different. It's like, yeah, I can't run fast, but I ran against a 10-year-old and I won. So I got this flex of, oh, I just won this race because I beat this 10-year-old. And it's like, ma'am, you 44 years old. Like, Okay, you beat the 10-year-old. Like, it's that for me. That's what it's giving for me. So, people wilding. So, that's going to be probably one more thing on the West Coast for them to be walking the fence, walking the picket lines. But it is what it is. So, it's already in place. It's already in place. Moving on. Next topic. India. Did y'all see where Trump had like 104 Indians deported? Yes, virtuous woman. Thank you. Good morning, you all. Can't really, I'm driving, so I can't really get into the comments like that. But thank you. Welcome. Please like the video. India. It was out of 104 people that got deported. I think they said it was like 25 women, 12 children, and one of the kids included a 4-year-old. And I hadn't even, y'all, when I had been thinking about this whole deportation situation, I hadn't even thought about the Indians. But many of them are here on visas, for work visas. So there were some who were deported because they had expired, but they said there were a good number who were just here just outright illegally. So I'm like, okay. So they got sent back to what was that? Pugham, Pugham. I think that was the city. So they got sent back over there. Maybe, I don't know, it might have been yesterday. So with that being said, they got sent back over there. So I listened to an interview of an Indian man, and he talked about the experience and all that it took, the effort that was made to get over here, only to be turned around. This man said that he had paid like an agent, like I think it was about $48,000. So in rupees, when I looked at, I had to pull out the calculator. I'm like, okay, because they were telling me in rupees. So I'm like, what does that translate to American dollars? It translated the amount that he said he paid. It translated to like about $48,000 for US dollars. He paid somebody that's called an agent this money, so therefore he could get over to the USA. Now, let's talk about the process with getting over here, because it gave Underground Railroad. He said that he went about 15 miles by water. Then when they got on land, they went, it was crazy. Another good distance on land that had them somewhere, that wound them up in Mexico, where they were like stopped at a border. It was crazy. It was crazy. They done took camel rides. They done went up mountains. Yeah, they said camels. One guy said they was on camels. They done went up mountains, and they said in the midst of that, some people were injured, and those who were injured were left behind. So let's just say you going up these hills, you doing your camel rides, because remember, like they, I don't know from a miles point, like how many miles it is that they truck, but I'm describing the experience. They said, he said they went up hills, went by sea, land, everything. Never made it still to the USA, but I'm just describing just the journey, only to get to say the border in like Mexico, and they were stopped, arrested, detained for about 14 hours. I mean 14 days, sent to other countries. I think one said they were sent to Dubai. Then they were promised there, oh, okay, we'll get you to USA, the USA. And it never happened. I done told y'all this man say he paid like $48,000. I done described the experience. He still have not touched the ground of the USA. So he is an example of someone who had made all these attempts and went all through these great lengths to try to get here, and it did not work out. After paying $45,000+, got sent back. So now he didn't got sent back home with no money, because all that he had and he done sold. He didn't say nothing about the family being with him, if he had a wife or children. This was all him. So I don't know what the plan was. Okay, I'm gonna go and get over there, set up shop, I'm gonna get over here, set up shop, send for you and the kids. I don't know. He didn't go into all that. He just was in his feelings about paying for something that he did not get. He was promised opportunities in the USA, and it did not happen. It did not happen. Why did it not happen? Because it wasn't legal. He got sent back home. So, do you feel like he should have been able to? Because remember, the old boy paid $48,000. Do you feel that because he was financially vested, he should have had the ability to be able to get here to the USA to hit land? Because he paid. Listen, you pay like you weigh. He'd have paid his money. He like, listen, I paid my money. Why am I in Dubai? Houseway. Like, why am I in Dubai? I done paid this man, this agent, this man or woman. He just said an agent. I don't know who this agent is. I done paid them $48,000. Why am I sitting here at the borders in Mexico? Why am I being detained behind bars? Like, why? Why am I not over there? These are the questions that these people have. So a lot of them who did make it over here, they have been returned on a one-way flight. Oh, and India, like, yo, okay, President Trump, we hear you. We're sent for our folks, but we ain't finna just take them on your word of you saying they come from India. We doing checks and balances to see if they truly are citizens of India. So remember, I've talked about on previous lives. Everybody else want to do checks on do you got citizenship here before you come over here? Like, we ain't going off of your word to say, no, my street up there, my house up there up the street, like that's my house on the corner. They ain't trying to go off of what you said. They want to see some documents. They want to see proof. So India was like, okay, we not finna just say, okay, put them on a plane and send them back because you said you've identified them as being Indian. We need to identify them as being Indian. So we got to do our due diligence, our homework to see if they are truly Indian from here. If they're ours. If they're ours, we will gladly take them back. But if not, I don't know what to tell you, President Donald J. Trump. I don't know what to tell you if we do not identify them as citizens of India. So don't it sound like them people got they got their checks and balance, they systems in place too? Like, that's what we trying to do. It sound like that's what they're doing. They're having they like, listen, we trying to, we got to check some stuff off. We ain't just gonna be taking on everybody. We ain't got it all like that. Oh really? Oh really? Makes sense. But I'm like, why can't other countries follow that logic, but we can't follow that same logic? Because it sounds very logical. I'm not mad at them for having that response. I'm not mad. That's like, say, a bunch of kids caught skipping. They at the mall. They call, you know, Greenville High School and say, hey, we got a bunch of y'all students. They skipped school. We about to bring them. We about to drop them off. The school like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We got to check to see if these kids go to this school. We got to see if they enrolled here. We can't just be accepting just kids like that. Okay, hold on. What's the first name? Let me get my little list off. Let me see. All right. John Smith. Okay, I see him. All right, come on. Okay. Lisa Tran. No, I don't see Lisa Tran. Okay, so that one not ours. We can't take that one. Now, what's the next one? You see what I'm saying? You're doing a check off. Doesn't that make sense? You're doing a check off. You're not just saying we're just taking everything, everybody. We're not doing that. A lot of places, most places who have resources, America, we're the richest country, and we don't even got the resources like that to be able to be moving like that. We can't do that. And when we do that, what happens is that the expenses, the costs of doing such thing, it overflows onto the actual citizens, the American people. That's who got to absorb it. When we got to, increase, more resources because of the people. We got to expand the schools, build more homes. Like, you got to increase the resources because you got to try to make room for now the influx of people. So even with all of this going on, what amazes me is the large number of people who are still en route with coming over here knowing that they are going to get stopped at the border. So that's what I be wondering, like the mindset behind someone who still chooses to say, okay, grandma, grandpa, I'm about to go ahead and make my way to America. But you know, before you even kiss grandma and grandpa goodbye, you already know what was going on and they were stopping this from happening. And there's military and things at the border, but you're still doing it. Like, so what's the thought process for when you show up to the border and those military people are there and they're saying you can't go past this line? What is the thought process? Do you get upset and angry? Like, do you truly just get in your feelings in that moment? What do you mean? I didn't came here. It took me 14 days to get here or however long. Do you have that type of energy, in that moment? Remember, I told you that when they kissed grandma and grandpa goodbye, they already knew because they seen on the news, they got phone on their phone on the internet that people are being stopped. What's the rationale for continue to go on that journey? Like I say, that's like me putting the family in a car. Okay, we going to Disney World, but I didn't already watch the news and seen that Disney World was closed because stuff was whatever, the weather, the hurricane damaged it, jacked it up. But I'm finna take a 8-10 hour drive with the family to Florida because and pull up to Disney World. But I done damn seen on every news outlet that the damn place closed. Y'all think them kids ain't gonna be looking at me like I'm damn crazy when I'm like, we pull up, it's closed. They looking at me like, you know it's closed, and I'm like, well, it was saying it on the news. Oh, my kids gonna hit me with what? Well, why'd we come? Who kid with it? Well, why we come all this way if you said that it's kids probably gonna cuss you out in that moment. These kids ain't crazy. So it's the same thing. It's the logic. Back to the topic of tariffs. So I learned that Canada, y'all know President Trump is standing on business, and this is why. Canada and Mexico have both come back. Their presidents have said, all right, damn shit. Damn it. Shit. All right. We got now. What you say you want us to do with these damn borders? I'm tired of you, Trump. Shit. What you was saying again? Because I wasn't hearing a damn thing you was saying last week. But you got my ear now. So what? What do you want me to do? Because I'm tired. I'm annoyed. Whatever. What do you want, Trump? What do you want? Okay. Well, let me repeat. I want you to have your own military force at the border at your own expense, and Canada, Trudeau, I want you to go ahead and handle that issue with the fentanyl coming over to the U.S. Being moved over here to the U.S. from Canada. So I need for you to handle them two things. And can you handle that, Trudeau? Can you handle that? Can you handle that? Can you send your folks to the border? Did you send your folks to the border? And can you keep them drugs or whatever you got popping off, that fentanyl, whatever that is? Can you keep it over there? Can you keep it over there? Those are my two requests. All right, then, goddamn. All right, we gonna commit. We 30 days. We gonna commit for 30 days. I don't know what we gonna do after 30 days, but 30 days we'll play by your rules. 30 days. That is what has happened. Mexico was like, all right, then, what you want, y'all? Cause I think it's a woman running shit over there. All right, damn, play. Ooh, I'm so tired of his ass. This the woman. I'm tired of his ass. He done worked my damn nerves. It's that time of the month. I'm tired of dealing with this shit. I got this man at home. I got to deal with these kids. I got to deal with his ass. What do you want? What? Okay. Okay. Fine then. We gonna try it for 30 days because I'm tired of you. You done tap danced on my last damn nerves, Trump. All right then. What you say? All right then. Shit. Carlos, go on get him over there because I'm tired of dealing with this. Trump, all right then. We gonna send 15,000. We gonna send 15,000 of our people over there to the border. All right then, goddammit. 30 days. We gonna try it for 30 days because you really done tap dance on my damn nerves and I really don't want to do it. But I'm tired of your ass. I'm tired. I'm tired. So I'm going to go ahead, send them folks over there so they can guard it. Because that's what you said you want. Because we need to, I need you to run me my coin. We need to, raise up. What you said you was about to do again with these tariffs? You said you was going to what? You said you was going to renege, take back that 25% increase? All right, then. Send me that over in writing. Send me that over in writing. And because y'all know women, y'all know we ain't finna be got them plans. Send me that over in writing. So 30 days. We got a 30-day agreement with Canada and Mexico to cooperate with the borders, with manning each of those countries, manning doing their part with manning the border. So that's where we're at with that. So I don't know if in 30 days, both for the sides, Canada and Mexico want to see like, okay, if it's something that they can sustain as far as with the costs and things, the resources they got to use. Because listen, this is gonna be on. This is a cost, resource, all that they got to absorb, just like we absorb our end on our side. They got to do that on their side. So I don't know if maybe with this whole 30-day trial is for them to see if it's worthwhile. But I would imagine that it would be if they continuing to do business with us and not have to pay that 25% tariff, increase or whatever. So we gonna see. So remember, it's just 30 days. It's just a 30-day trial period. You know how you get that free trial for 30 days? You better make sure that on that last day you cancel it, because you will be hit with that subscription charge. How many of y'all been caught up in that? Like, mother, you didn't forgot that you had signed up for it. Like, damn, they didn't got me again. So this is a situation with that. So it's just temporary. Now, moving on to China. China still got that FU energy. I don't give a shit what you saying. I ain't even read your damn email. China still left them on red. He said China didn't miss the deadline, because I guess whatever options he threw out there, it was like a time frame that it was extended for. And they had, remember, he hit them with the 10%. It was a 10%. So they didn't miss the deadline. So I imagine probably with all of these, because it was in Canada and Mexico, it was like the 25% tariff increase. Canada, no, China, it was 10%. So I guess they all probably had like a certain time limit to come around. And Canada and Mexico came around, but they said China had not responded. The deadline had passed. So business as scheduled. So the 10% tariff, it is for that. So it's going to be interesting to see, what happens with that, how that's will impact just with the products and things. Because we got a lot of things that come over from China. So probably more so than, with the Canada and Mexico. I don't know. It's a lot of things that are made in China. So they going to go ahead and get hit with that little 10% that he promised. But I ain't surprised, because China like, I'm like, you ain't running nothing. They calling this bluff. So it is what it is. As I say, life is about choices. We all have the ability to make choices for ourselves. Most of us do, unless you in that penal system. I talked about that El Salvador. Unless you out there in El Salvador, but that ain't our country anyway. So in America, life's about choices, unless you end up in San Quentin or you was in Alcatraz. But as long as you ain't locked up and you out here walking the earth freely, yeah, like you got, freedom to make a lot, like most of, pretty much can do majority of kind of what you want. Like, so you just gotta think smart. JP says China isn't paying a tariff. We gonna see. So I also seen that President Trump did his first drop off one way trip to um, Guantanamo Guantanamo Bay. He did his little first trip there, drop off there, and I think there were 10 people who were on that flight. They said that made their way. They safely made their way to Cuba, to the prison out there. And Trump said, I think it was just 10 on that flight, but he said there's room for thousands. They've invested money. I saw, I think since 2000 and maybe 23. I don't. They've invested a lot of money into building it over there. It's just some, property that we have that the US pay like a lot of money. I think it's in the billions to manage to maintain each year. And they're going to basically start utilizing it. They're going to start utilizing it more now. So we got 10 over there now. So I guess they can be part of the greeting committee when the dad and the rest of them come. You know, you got the greeters, like you got the ones, let me show you around. I guess them 10, they gonna be a part of the let me show you around committee to give them a tour of what life gonna be like at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. So you got people, lawyers I didn't heard talking about it not being right against the law, because apparently the people who have been over there since 9/11 are the people who was supposed to have been behind the world, the explosion, all the shenanigans centered around the 9/11 with the buildings, the loss of lives. May those people rest in peace. But the people who were convicted of that, who they eventually, I guess, caught up with, those people have been detained there. That's where they have been. So I don't know if I don't think anybody else had been there up until now. Ones I believe they got shipped off there are the ones who were deemed to be very dangerous, and who they felt like, well, if we were to send them back to their actual countries, they would just make their way back. And I seen a video of a guy. He was like, okay, a week ago, I got, they sent me back, whatever. But my folks, my people, my CARTEL people have got me whatever I need. So I'm on my way back. And he showed like this fake ID, or he called it a passport, but it looked like how a driver's license would look. How our driver's license would look. That's what it looked like. It didn't look like how my passport looked. But it looked like a driver's license, and he showed it, and he was like, listen, I'm on my way back. So what do you do in those situations where you're rounding up the worst of the worst? And I don't know what this man's background was as far as what kind of stuff he done got into, but he all on social media, on his little social media account, talking about, y'all, stay tuned. So I also learned that those cities that are, what do you call those, the safe cities where the immigrants are able to, like, where they're being protected. It's a name for those places. The sanctuary, is that they call it, the sanctuary cities, that the government has said, oh, okay, so y'all want to be moving like that, we finna halt resources and money and things like that. Since y'all not trying to abide by these new rules, regulations that I have put in place, we finna hit your pockets with it. So while you trying to be Captain Save or whatever, you finna be absorbing that cost out of your own pocket, because we're not contributing and sending funds over to help out with these people who you're trying to protect. So that's on that. And the crazy thing I saw also was that a lot of the people that ICE, like, that now have maybe caught up with, they have long criminal records, and on record they have been like arrested and then like released for like for things like assault, essay, like all kinds of things. Like, they'll get detained but then released back out. And a lot of times in some situations when they're released out, that's when somebody's life is lost. So it's almost like, okay, they had already did crazy stuff that shouldn't have warranted them to be released, or released so quickly. But when they were released, they went out there and did something even worse than what the hell they did before the first time they got locked up. How, Sway? So it's just like, damn. So how do you defend this? People, like, how do we defend this to say, no, 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 they should be here, they should do this and that, when it's like this happened? Like I said, people don't start using common sense in the sermon until it hit home and it's impacted their loved one and they child ain't coming home. their child's not coming home. Now it's like, oh, you ready to walk the streets all hours of the day and night, because now it's just like your loved one has been impacted and hurt or unalive by someone who wasn't here legally. And it's unfortunate that it be that case when it's unfortunate that it be that way, and people act like stuff don't make sense. They can't understand when it's not impacting them directly. It's that for me. Like Star said, if the country has that much violence in there, how is it they're communicating on the cell phone with their family, their friends, not in danger of war or crimes? I'm just scrolling through the live. Say the bright, playful day to everyone. Good morning, beautiful. Good morning, everyone. JP Chuck, thank you. Thank you. Hey, Shelly. Question: why don't they clean out the jails first, get rid of the illegal people that we are spending the taxpayers' money on? I learned that also Trump is looking at the people who are currently in our prison systems. So remember, I talked about yesterday the president of El Salvador extending the offer for for Trump to send our prisoners, so they don't have to be, from their country. They're just saying, hey, we got room, we got space in our facilities if you want us to house any of your prisoners. So Trump says, he had to explore to see from a legal standpoint, like what kind of grounds he could have, but he liked the idea. Marco Rubio, another politician, he works with Trump on his administration. He liked that. He appreciated the idea and liked it as well. So, from my understanding, Trump is looking at the people who are currently in our prisons right now, and the ones who are in for like the really, I guess, the most heinous crimes and things like that. Those are the ones that he is taking. He's considering to where if he were to relocate them to like another prison, let's just say if they were to go to El Salvador, if he were to sign off and say, okay, prisoners can be moved to El Salvador, it would be those. So Shelly, I hadn't thought about, I guess, any illegals who are in our prisons, but hopefully that is something that is being explored right now for those who just already kind of got caught up, in trouble and got put in jail and all that, for them to even be sent back to where they came from, and not to be free, but to be sent back to those places and put into their prison systems to finish out whatever their sentence was or whatever. So I think that would be a good idea. But I do know, yeah, he is taking inventory and looking at the types of crimes that people have committed who currently are in prison. So it's a lot of moving parts. That's why I like to go live, to kind of brainstorm, to talk this out, to try to figure out like ways and come up with ideas and solutions to these problems that we have, because they're not just going to go away on its own. It's going to take for someone to put a plan in place, because from my understanding, the Biden administration, and I think even Obama, they kind of was talking about like certain things with putting things in place and trying to regulate things, but as it pertained to like immigration, things like that, but it just didn't go anywhere. What they say, don't talk about it, be about it. And that's what's happening. I think Trump is looking like the bad guys because he's putting things into action. Because for so long we were so used to someone just talking about it, saying, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and then waiting for somebody else to agree with them, even though their opinions really legally didn't really matter, but just because that's their friend, they buddy, they partner, they wanted to get that person's buy-in. Trump came in and was like, okay, I got the pen, it's up to me, so my decision is to do this. So that's how he's been able to do just so much in just a matter of like a couple of weeks. It's not even been, normally it's this whole big thing on what somebody did, what a president did in the first 100 days. We're nowhere near 100 days, and look what has popped off. So imagine 100 days from now where we will be as far as with organizations and rules and regulations and things that's being put into place to make things better. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the things that he signed off on is rooted in making things better. And I don't think that we are going to feel it, as the impact of it, as far as feeling like it's better, until at least about a good 22 years, 24 months. Because it's like, it's a lot of moving parts. So it's not going to be overnight. You're going to feel the impact of these changes being put into place. You got to give it time. You got to trust the process. You got to ride it out. That's just like almost anything that we do is not an overnight success. You tell your story on, yeah, I mean, I started this business in 2015. Now it's 2025 and you talking about it. And everybody's seeing your successes today in 2025, but you like, this ain't where it started. It's not where it started. Y'all seeing me, y'all, I got y'all attention because of the results of what I did. Let me tell you about what I did. You got time? You got time? Let me tell you about what I did. It goes back to 2015. I did this in 2015. I ain't had nobody support me. People thought it was dumb. They thought it was a stupid idea. They were like, what are you doing? 2015. I started getting motion. I started getting motion. People were seeing me like in 2020, like, hey, all right, that's what you was doing. Now 2025, I'm sitting down talking to you because you want to know how I got all this money in the bank. You see what I'm saying? Trust the process. It's a process. Everything has a process. And if people in large numbers voted this man in, that says that people in large numbers do not view this man as a village idiot. Let's say, because if they did, he wouldn't be where he is. He wouldn't have, his numbers wouldn't have looked the way they did in such leaps and bounds over the incumbent, over Biden. Like, they wouldn't have looked like that. So clearly there are a lot of people who are with how this man operates, his thought process on business, because at the end of the day, this country, it has to be ran like a business because money is involved. Money is involved. It's a business. So someone who's business savvy has to have their hand in running this country. You got to know business. Ain't nobody running around hollering Trump don't know business. Trump is Trump who he is because he knows business. No matter how much you may talk about his skin color, his hair, his lack thereof hair, his body, his lingo, how he talk, no matter how you slice it and dice it or whatever you say, what you can't take away is that this man is business savvy. Like they say, when you got knowledge, you got education, all that, somebody can't take that away from you, no matter how much they don't like you, no matter how much you don't like me. You can't take away the things that I got going for me. It is what a damn is, whether you here for it or not. It don't change. It don't change that it is what it is. So there's more people who are really on board for how he's moving. Now, what gets me though is the immigrants who are crying, saying, but I voted for you and you said that you were only going to send back the immigrants who were breaking laws. I ain't never heard the man say that. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I heard him talk about prioritizing them, them being the drive for him wanting to regulate this whole immigration thing, the catalyst behind it. But I didn't hear him say he was isolating, only sending back those who committed heinous crimes. Now, he did say sending back those who committed a crime. Well, if you're here illegally, you committed a crime, right? Because you're here illegally. So technically that is a crime. Now, there's levels to the crimes. So even though that is a crime, it is not a heinous crime. So what he had said was those who created heinous crimes like SA, offing somebody, that's the priority. But that don't mean that those of you who have broken other laws, such as being here illegally, would be skipped over. No, that is not what he said. So what I'm thinking, I truly believe that there's a good number of people in that group, in the Hispanic who misunderstood. And the reason why I can see that when they said, but you said the criminal or the people who commit, because first of all, This isn't their country. English isn't their first language. So sometimes you're going to misunderstand. I truly believe some of them, damn, they misunderstood. But that's what happens when you're only having conversations within people in your circle, in your community, and not talking to other people. Because had they had a conversation, let's just say, for example, with a Black American person, I'm sure that person would have broke it down and said, no, 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 it's, let me help you understand. It's not just people who commit those type of crimes. It's this group of people too. And they would be like, oh, but if you're staying in your circle, which a lot of times the Hispanic community, they're good for just staying within their circle, their communities, and communicating with one another. They're only talking amongst themselves. So if everybody is going off of incorrect information, what does that do? Everybody taking an L because everybody moving off of false information. That's why it's good to expand your circle and to start engaging in conversations with other people that you maybe normally not maybe have conversations with, because they can maybe help you come to understandings in areas to where it's not really so clear. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people within the Hispanic community. They were talking amongst themselves and they all were misinformed. They all misunderstood. They misunderstood. I think a lot of them misunderstood. Like, and I can get it because it's like, you know, you misunderstood. It happens. People misunderstood. But this was a big, huge thing to misunderstand. This is big. It's big. But I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt and believe that some did. Now, everybody probably didn't, but I feel like some of them did. So here we are. Here we are. And I'm going to say that as long as he in office for a good 4 years, this is what it's going to be. Now, when he gone, and here's the thing about what I feel like what's going to happen. People in their feelings now, about him doing whatever to get things lined up. And things after 2 years, we're going to start to feel in and be like, okay. Things going to be hitting, feeling differently. People going to be getting a little money in their pocket, getting some change. And then say when he's out of office, after however many years, and say a Democrat, somebody coming to office, and they undo whatever he did. And I think them same people who was complaining about how Trump was moving and what he was doing going to be the same people who are going to then start complaining about things being not so good anymore. And they going to act like the hell they don't know why. It's going to be, they ain't going to want to acknowledge that, yeah, let's just say 6 years from now, things not feeling good. I'm going off of, let's just say he's not in there and it's somebody else. And when people start complaining, I don't feel like they're in large numbers going, at least from a Democratic side. If anyone ever know, I'm an independent type voter. So I vote like I'm independent. So it's just like whoever kind of moves my spirit based off of, whatever language they talk, and that's kind of the route I go. But I feel like when people start, say 6, 8 years down the line, start feeling it and having tough times, they gonna act like they don't know why. They gonna act like they don't know why, when we gonna know the reason why is because of the things that got undone. Nobody ain't gonna want to sit in the damn, like it was working. Now that they done reversed it back to old ways, we effed up again. Ain't nobody gonna want to talk about that part. They not gonna want to do it. They not gonna want to do it because they're gonna be forced to have to acknowledge that, wow, all of that was for our betterment. All of that was for our betterment. Wow. But that's gonna be the silent. They ain't gonna say that out loud. Now the people who voted for him, who were in supportive of him, will say, well, I know exactly why it's feeling different now. But those who were like against him, they're not going to want to own that. They're gonna want to come up with all other kind of reasons to justify why things feel different. Not ain't gonna they ain't gonna want to acknowledge that stuff got reversed, because the borders became open again, because everybody was able to play in any sports, whatever they woke up feeling that they said they identified as for that day, that week, that month, that year. They ain't gonna want to, they gonna be sitting like trying to really have think pieces, trying to figure out what happened and why things are bad again. And that's what I foresee taking place, because people prior to Trump getting back into the office had all these complaints about I ain't got no money, this, and that. They was complaining loud. They were complaining very loud. But then once he got in office and started putting things in place to try to mitigate some of those things and to make things better, then people want to kick and scream. And it's just like, wait a minute. Well, you said that you wasn't making money. Your jobs was going away. You said these things. And these things, and now that I'm putting in place, I'm trying to combat that to make things better. And you got a problem. But again, as I say, it's growing pains. I call it growing pains. I feel like what our nation is going through right now is growing pains, and it's going to take time, and you got to trust the process. And I think that in 2 years, we will feel it. We will feel it in a positive way. I think so. Yeah. I think we're going to feel it in a positive way. We'll feel the change, the impact. Uh, we'll feel the change. We'll feel the impact of all these things that he's putting into place. So that's my thoughts, and everyone is entitled to their own thoughts and opinions. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of our country, that we can do just that, and that's what I come on here to do. And any of you all can do the same, in whatever type of way that you choose to, whether it's on social media, whether it's just when you go around people. It's just being respectful for one another. That's what it's about. Everybody's entitled to their own thoughts and opinion. It's just not what you do, it's how you do it. Are you doing it with respect? And that's how I try to move, with just respecting people and respecting people's differences in opinions, because we're all different. We're unique. And also, when it comes to these platforms, things like that, you find your tribe. Everybody's not going to talk your language, and that's fine. You keep moving on, you keep searching to that platform, that one that does talk your language. That's how it works. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So I'll continue to come on here and talk my talk, share my thoughts out loud, get your opinions, get your feedback, because right now I know a lot of these questions, these concerns that I have, I know a lot of other people have them as well. So I'm just someone coming on Diddy's internet to express, my concerns about what's going on, my thought process, uh, and just to move on to something that I do feel like is a win, and do deserves attention. There was a case, excuse me, that I just learned about this morning that was sent to me, uh, about a little girl who had shot and killed a police officer defending her mother. She was 6 years old. And I don't know if you all, this was a story in Michigan. I don't even know how long ago this happened, but the background of the story was that the mother, they went to Walmart, went shopping at Walmart, regular day. The lady, I think she was like 38. Her was 6. I think her name was Aaliyah. She was 6. They went to Walmart. Mama purchased a TV. I think it was maybe like a 75-inch. It was a big screen TV. She purchased a TV. Y'all know how at Walmart they want you to show the receipt. I think that just goes for like the items that can't go inside of a bag. So they want you to show the receipt. That's just their protocol. It's been that way for a minute. So by the time she got up there, to the door where she was asked to show her receipt, she could not find her receipt. Somehow from the cash register to the door, she had dropped the receipt. It happens. How many of us have had that happen where you drop the receipt? So she's looking around like, oh man, I must have dropped it. And she calls over the cashier who checked her out just to, vouch. To me, it makes sense, right? Logical. She like, oh, yo, Beck, who, Lisa, hey, Lisa, can you come let him know I did purchase this somehow, child? I done lost my receipt, nerves bad. I'm in here with the baby girl. We trying to get out of here. So the lady like, yeah, yeah. She tells the gentleman, it's a male who's, doing this receipt check. Yeah, she paid for it. She paid for it. She's good. He still proceed to want to hold the woman and the child up. He didn't want to believe it. So I don't know what moral proof, what he was looking for, but he still didn't want to believe it. So the woman, like, man, I ain't got time for you. And she just kind of pushed back past him. I don't know, excuse me, I don't know if she touched him or any type of way, but she basically dismissed him and went on about her business. And her and baby girl, who's 6, went to the car and she put baby girl in her little booster seat, and she's proceeding to trying to get the TV in the car. And I think asked one of the workers, and that she seen outside, hey, can you help me put the TV in the car? In the midst of that, a police officer in a car rolls up on her. So the police officer is a 28-year-old white woman. So this family I'm talking about, with the woman who lost her life and the little girl, they're black, African American, black American. I'm sorry, black American. Young lady, the police officer, I think her name was Lindsay or something. She was kind of fairly new, but she rolled up out of her car, just kind of aggressively throwing her weight, like, yo, like, what's going on? That I got a call. They said, you know, you didn't pay for that TV, whatever. And the person who was at the door, who the lady pushed past, he said that the woman had assaulted him. So remember, she just kind of pushed back, like, man, get out of my way. She just pushed past him. He when he called, I guess, the police and reported it, he said that the lady had assaulted him and left the store with a TV that she did not purchase. So that's what the police officer was rolling up on her, questioning her about. So she starts trying to explain to the police officer, well, no, that's not what happened. I did buy the TV. The associate I checked out with at the cash register confirmed I bought the TV. So she's outside of the car talking to the police officer. Baby girl's still in the car watching this transpire with her mother and the police officer. Next thing you know, excuse me, the lady, the police officer, Lindsay, starts to get physical with mommy, the lady. She got the mom, on the ground now in some type of chokehold type position. And mama's like struggling, trying to catch her breath, trying to breathe. And because now it got to that point, because mama wasn't trying to cooperate with the officer, because I think the officer was wanting to take her in, I guess arrest her or whatever. And mama wasn't here for it. So she was basically like resisting, like, no, I'm not going with you. And the lady then got physical, the officer got physical with her, and it resulted in her having her on the ground in like a position to where it was choking her, blocking her airway. She couldn't breathe, like she was like blacking out. Baby girl from the vehicle took notice of all that. So baby girl gets in the front of the seat and gets in the glove box. So little girl had been trained, because they live in Michigan, so it's a Second Amendment state. She'd been trained how to use a firearm, a gun. She'd been trained. She'd been taught. A lot of people, y'all know, the other people train their kids at early ages how to use stuff. This baby girl was taught how to use a weapon in the event, she ever had to defend herself. She's 6, mind you. So she went into the glove box to get the weapon. She gets out the car, walks around to where to the other side of the vehicle, to where the officer got her mama on the ground, choking her, because she seen her mama was in distress. And remember, she was taught, for protection, this is what you use. So baby girl at 6 years old thinking, oh my God, my mama, this is one of those times. She's seeing that mama like struggling, like she's smart enough to know this ain't right. I ain't never seen that. This ain't right. She walks around with the gun and points it at the police officer and says, stop, get off my mama. And the police officer then goes to reach for her gun, and baby girl shoots the police officer in the eye, and the police officer dies. After that happened, the little girl drops the gun, she drops the weapon, and she like goes to hug her mom and saying, mommy, wake up, because my mama blacked out. Mama blacked out. I told you Lindsay had did some type of move that had her to where she couldn't breathe. So mama just lost, like, mama just laying there. She not even knowing what happened. Little girl like go to hug her mama. Mama, wake up. Mama wakes up. Mama comes back. Little girl and mama both, I guess more officers kind of made their way on the scene. Little girl and the mama both were deep, taken in. And guess what? The little girl gets off. She got off. And it didn't, I don't know the whole timeline from when that happened to the little girl getting off, but the stuff didn't even go to trial. So there was, I guess you call it what it was, no indictment or nothing like that. Like, it didn't take long with the investigation. All they had to do, which could have damn got done that day before all this popped off, is run the damn footage. All the police them did was go and talk to the Walmart. Walmart then probably was able to goddamn print a receipt. Y'all know anybody who do business with Walmart? Even if you ain't got the receipt, if you paid with a card, you give them that card, they'll show you, oh yeah, we see that you paid for this product already. Y'all, it ain't that hard to show proof that of payment of something, especially in Walmart. So you got that method, you got cameras that that's showing what's popping off in the store, what's popping off in the parking lots. Y'all, it didn't take long. I don't think it took a whole lot because I never even heard of the story going to like a trial, nothing. It was just the little girl and everybody, she got off. But it was so simple for them to easily be able to kind of clear her because of what I just said. Why the F that couldn't have been done prior to this officer just getting physical with her? So what came out also is that this officer, she was an overzealous type officer, and I guess she was real hypey about her job, her little position, because I think she'd only been in the force for maybe about not even 2 years. So she was known for being a hothead. I think her name was Lindsay. She was known for being a hothead. So when it happened, it was just like people knew that she had a reputation because there probably was already other complaints about her with how she shows up on the scene, like how she just don't really take into an account what people say. Like she just kind of do what she want to do, and that can be dangerous. You can't be moving like that. You got to ask questions. You got to do your job. You got to investigate and see what had happened now. You can't be on some, well, I because I said so and I don't care about whatever, I can exert my authority and I'm finna do this. This ain't how it works. And when people do try to move like that, y'all, it winds up to where somebody ain't walking away. Somebody's not walking away alive. And so I say all this to say that, yeah, as a result, once, with the investigation that didn't have to really go that deep, they seen that everything that the mama has said in regards to, I did pay for the TV, I did not assault that man. Y'all, how about when they pulled the camera, they seen that woman didn't touch that. She didn't assault that man. She did not assault that man. So that man then called lying, got Lindsay ass up there. May Lindsay rest in peace. But then Lindsay then rolled up there on 10, ready to be hero, because the man in the store then lied. He then lied and said that something transpired that didn't. And as a result of his lie, she's not here anymore. So now the question is, what happens to him? Should something happen to him because he lied? Because this started with a lie. Why couldn't he go off of the word of what his fellow co-worker told him? If he did not believe it or whatever, why didn't he say, okay, well, let me walk with you to customer service and we try to get you a new receipt. Let's do that. Like, there's so many other ways that it could have been handled. But he the damn called Lindsay to rolled up on 10 and she lost her life. So the family is now has filed a lawsuit, rightfully so, against Walmart, because this is where it started at. It started at Walmart and it started on a lie. And everything that woman said, it was able to be verified through technology. And I'm sure they talked with the woman who checked her out at the store, who said, yes, I told super employee David, or whatever the heck his name is, that Y'all know it always. Y'all know y'all work jobs where it's always that one employee that just be trying to do too much. They just take their job too serious, and they ain't got no they ain't got nan leadership title. But you can't tell them they ain't your team lead, they ain't your supervisor. They done appointed they damn self. They operating like they the damn CEO. Y'all got them people in y'all environment where they done put they own selves in charge. When nobody ain't told them nothing, nobody ain't said, Lisa, John, you in charge, you the team lead, you the leader. They ain't said nothing of the sort. But the way that they moving, they act like they got appointed a position because in their mind they done told themselves that they above you, they know more than you, they should be in a position. So because I feel like I know more than you, I, I got more education than you, or I've been here longer than you, I should be able to tell you what to do. I know what y'all know them people, them super employees. So he done made himself a damn super employee and then tricked himself all out of a job because I'm sure he got fired. So now Walmart then called a whole nother case, and I'm sure Walmart always, catching cases. So they got a whole nother case that they got to litigate and fight, um, work through the litigations through because of this employee doing too much. When doing too much goes wrong. This is an example of when doing too much goes wrong because he was doing entirely too damn much. Too much. Too much. And then it resulted in an officer coming doing too much as well. So it's a sad situation, but the good thing about it is that this little, and y'all, like when I saw the person covering the story, like the little girl had a mugshot and everything. Cute little girl. Google the story. It was in Michigan. Not sure of the city, but it wasn't a city I was familiar with. But she was 6, and the picture I saw of her, she had the ponytails and black little chocolate girl and just beautiful baby. And um, yeah, she saved because here's the thing: had that little girl not shot that cop would have really lawfully been able to shoot her because she went for her rifle. And of course, they're taught like natural instinct. If somebody got a weapon at you and you got access to a weapon, you're going to go to pull yours. So if that woman had a shot that little girl, she would have been within right, going off of that situation with that would have been the argument. That would have been the argument in like the trial, whatever, because she would have talked about being fearful of her life or whatever. But it probably would have still been something where she wouldn't have probably won for the simple fact that just like with this situation, how the little girl won, they was able to run the footage and see that officer, you shouldn't have been there. And even when you were there, we see on camera that you were overly aggressive. This officer was overly aggressive. She used the enfor what do you call over the enfor she was doing too much. She was doing too much. And all of that was on camera. It was like, okay, she didn't need to be doing all that. She didn't need to be doing all that. And old boy in the store, he said she assaulted him. No, she didn't do that either. So nobody shouldn't have been having nothing slick to say to this woman on this type of level. Excessive force, thank you. Nobody. So they said, yes, Lindsay, they said it was excessive force. And they ran the footage. Baby girl got off. But she has to live, but her life is forever changed. Her mama's life forever changed because she has to live with knowing that she took a woman's life. Like, think about what type of trauma this little girl she now has endured and what she will have to live with. Because the thing about trauma, you don't get over trauma, you just learn to live with it. You cope. You cope. So this little girl is going to have to learn how to cope with the trauma. Even her mom. People involved. Think about the worker who was in Walmart. Think about, or anybody who was out there who witnessed it. Like, there's so many people who have been impacted by the situation, but the most impacted is the little girl, the 6-year-old. So that's I share that story because that's an example of just here in our country having rules, laws, regulations, things like that. You need things like that in place. So therefore, when things go awry, we got somebody there's something that you can fall back on, some systems in place that you can lean back on and say, okay, according to where I live, it's Second Amendment, we can carry right, we got a right to do this, all that. That is how they were able to wrap it up. I believe I don't know the timeline of it all, but I believe it wasn't long, wasn't years, because I'd never heard of the case before. So I don't think it was nothing super drawn out, but I don't know. I learned about it right before I went live. It was just like a short video someone sent. So it wasn't, I didn't go on the internet, and start like deep diving to learn more like those details. But I just know she got off. And I was so happy to hear that because I'm just like, oh my gosh, she killed a police officer. And y'all know they throwing a book at you when you take out a police officer. Anybody, y'all just know when they take when we take them out like that, like it's hits differently than when they take us out. Like it's just a different kind of energy when you impact one of theirs. So but yes, so you all can research that story. Michigan 6-year-old little girl um kills police officer defending her mother. And mama ain't got mama, she was passed out, so she don't know what happened with the gun. She remember probably the officer kind of touching her, but the stuff with the baby girl, like I just remember waking up and seeing her daughter over her. And y'all think about it, she got to get her thoughts together for her to realize what happened. Because first, remember, she coming through and she's seeing her daughter saying, "Mama, wake up." And then she look around. You got to get yourself together. You look around and she sees the lady, the officer, laying there and a gun. So then she got to be like, "Oh shit, what just happened?" And she see baby girl cry. Y'all, I'm painting a scene of just in my mind what it probably looked like. Just that whole scene. And I don't know what time of the day it was, if it was at night in the day, I don't know. But this is that type of stuff that you don't wish on nobody. But this is also a story to where I am so happy that this little girl is not someplace being tried as an adult. Because y'all know in this country, we're not above saying this child will be tried as an adult. Y'all know. So I'm just glad that wasn't the headline or the video I was listening to where they were saying 6-year-old on trial, being tried as an adult, facing lifetime in prison for, like, that headline could have went so many different ways. It could have went so many different ways. So I feel like, may Lindsay rest in peace. She lost her life. It's unfortunate. I'm sure the family, um, it was difficult for them, but that's what happened. Straight said, in my company, a policeman tases an elderly lady with dementia and she died. He's going through a court trial. Wow. One moment. Let me check something. Give me a minute. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, that's what's going on. That's one of the things that we're dealing with in our country. But I'm happy that it worked out for a baby girl where she's not somewhere doing time. She is home with her family. But yes, you all, take care of yourself and one another. Ask questions. Learn. Get out of your bubble. Sometimes we think we got the answers and we don't. And sometimes we learn that there's more to a situation, a story, than what we thought. And it's okay when you're learning something new from somebody. You take it in, you do your research. For those of you, I had new subscribers as of late. Thank you for subscribing to my channel over here. I refer to my subscriber as the honor students. And I refer to us as that is because we're lifetime learners. I believe in asking questions, not sitting in the unknown, not just go along with the get along, not just be a sheep and just follow the masses, Stop and explore, learn for yourself. If something don't sound right, look into it. Um, just take a deep dive, ask questions, because I say smart people ask questions, and I always promote people to ask a lot of questions because that's the only way, that's how we learn. So don't ever feel bad or have someone to make you feel bad because they feel like you ask too many questions. That's okay, because that's how you know. And I was always that person like, oh, you ask so many questions, but guess who they come to when they need answers? The person who asks all the questions, because they know, okay, she's likely to have the answer or some information about it, or can direct me. Like, she ain't finna just send me with nothing, because I deep dive, I explore. I'm a lifetime learner, and that goes well beyond education. I have higher education degrees and all of that, but I'm a lifetime learner where I'm learning a lot just from just living life. And that's what it's about. You live and you learn. So I'm always learning, and I come out on this channel and I share my thoughts, I share stories, and it comes from my life experiences. We all have a story. We all have a testimony. Each one teach one, and that's just what I do. So if you are here for any of that, definitely subscribe to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. Uh, I have two channels actually. This is my smaller channel. I actually have a larger channel that's called Chic Speaks. That's a larger channel. So it's also, both channels are reaction channels. But as of late, I've been doing this whole series on just car chronicles because I've been kind of um, traveling some, with work, and I found myself in the car, and I decided to go live and talk to you all about the thoughts that I have centered around what's going on in our country. So I thank you all. Definitely leave a comment, like the video, share, subscribe so you'll know when I go live. And yeah, I don't know when the next time I will go live. I've been on a schedule kind of this week, but it's not really the norm that I'm kind of on a schedule with my lives. So I would definitely say subscribe. Make sure your notification bell is on, so you know when I go live. So, but otherwise, be a part of the replay game, and definitely leave a comment on the videos. I love to read comments. I love to read the comments, and and see what's on your minds. And if it's something that's different than what I have, share it. I just ask everyone just be respectful, and I like to respond to comments. So if you leave me a comment, I'll see it. I'll heart it. I'll give a response. And yeah, that's just how I roll over here. I am Chic. This is my channel. Chic Speaks on It. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and be safe. Rest of your day. Be safe. Take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy, heavy on the take care of yourselves. Because so many of us out here doing everything for everybody and nobody's showing up for us. So take care of yourself. Do not neglect yourself. Take care of yourself. And I will catch you all in the next broadcast. Peace.